Hey everyone, this is the Twins with the Grand Old Time Cast, and this is our video essay on how to survive IBOLC Abridged.
An evil fish!
So, real quick PSA before we start the video. When we started this How to Survive series, specifically the IBOLC series, I never anticipated that the video would actually reach Cadre, especially because these videos aren't that popular online. It's like when I post these, like, sure, they get, I mean, I think the first video, How to Survive ACO, has just under 1,000 views. That's not a lot, you know, and it's such a niche community and such a niche subject that, you know, not many people will actually be looking for this thing. This is a very niche topic. But never in my wildest dreams would it have reached Cadre, you know? So the last one we did, Deco, Cadre reached out. And, you know, this video series was, you know, I anticipated this video series is for young lieutenants who are scouring the internet looking for information on obscure schoolhouses. So, again, it reached the Cadre and we got some feedback from them. And some of it was quite helpful and quite corrective and helped me fix some mistakes on the previous videos. Others were just a little bit more personal, I suppose.
If you get the opportunity, you should kill yourself.
I can appreciate the valid criticism, and again, the valid criticism, some of it not so much. But again, the one cadre member put up some stuff. It should be about right here, I would think. But yeah, his comments, he helped me fix the timeline because I got the timeline in Deco wrong. And again, I'm just going off memory. You know, I'm just going off of my memory of being there, and that was almost 6 months ago that I was there. So it's pretty tough recalling this stuff. But the other comments, not as nice.
You're gay. Hey, who told you about that?
You know, very there is some personal to it, but there is some truth to it as well. Like I said, it's valid criticism, but it also the criticism that was given in the video, or like the what it was said, kind of emphasizes why I made this video series in the first place. Again, I had no frame of reference for what IBOLC was going to be like when I came to IBOLC. The only time I got a frame of reference for it was whenever I did an interview with state hero Gary Newberry, who's a fellow lieutenant that had recently gone through IBOLC a year ahead of me. And he, like, literally, he told me this stuff a week out. Like, I had no clue. I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm fitnessed up enough yet. You know, he's like, you'll do fine. You'll get there. Just work hard when you're there. But yeah, I definitely didn't show up with the proper amount of fitness. And again, nothing will ever prepare you for that Georgia heat. It's like breathing through a straw out there. You know what I'm saying? So I make these videos to help prepare young lieutenants who are scouring the internet for IBOLC.
Yeah.
Guiding others to a treasure I cannot possess.
Well, that too, and like the other portion of this is basically your AAR of IBOLC.
Yes.
And AARs is something we do in the Army all the time. So to the cadre member that maybe took it a little too personal, like, you conduct an AAR after everything you do in the Army, which tells you what you can improve on and what you did good on. And I thought that all of the videos so far were pretty complimentary of the program. Only like a couple of gripes here and there.
Yeah.
So
just things that we deemed as unprofessional or tedious and are unnecessary. But I digress. So again, I would like to apologize if the comments that we said in the last videos came off as callous or ignorant. Because again, I mean, one of the captains or the cadre members there definitely cleared up. You know, the program is still in flux. It's still developing, and I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. You know, because I mean, some of the stuff is brand new. Like, they're just trying stuff out, seeing if it works, see what sticks.
Exactly.
So I didn't think about it from that perspective. So again, if my comments came off as ignorant and tone deaf, again, I apologize, but I just want to clear that up because I'm attempting to make this video series as informative, honest, and entertaining as possible, and it's all from a recent graduate's perspective.
Yeah.
So again, I just wanted to clear that up and get that out of the way. So now that we got that cleared up, let's push on with the video.
Special Officer Doofy reporting.
So the first thing you'll do is in-processing and ACO, which I kind of like combine these two because there's almost not much of a difference because the cadre are so similar in in-processing and ACO. So you'll arrive at Fort Benning, and if you're a guardsman, you can go to Building 4 and scan. So you'll go to the giant parking lot to the side of the infantry building, and there'll be a number on this door that says 4. That's the door. Go up there and scan the QR code on that door. It'll put you in a signal group, and then it'll just send hourly updates on this little signal chat. And it'll tell you what to do, where to report, and whatnot. You can remove yourself from it, and then you'll get into a group with your class as well. So anyway, you'll also want to download the Guide On app, and think of it like Google Maps, but for Army bases. It's very useful. It'll tell you, like, you can type in the name of the building, it will find it and take you directly to it. So it's Google Maps for Army bases because don't use Apple Maps, don't use Google Maps on the Army base because it does not know what buildings you're talking about. Maybe the only building I think that my Google Maps could find was actually the hotel. That was it.
There's probably a reason for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's an Army base. Anyway, so you'll report to Building 4, and then you'll just do the in-processing stuff. You'll do your paperwork. You'll also get health and wellness briefs. You will also, and those will be conducted by Rangers. It's like some of them tabbed, some of them, Ranger tabbed, some of them actual scrolled Rangers as well. But they're like, fitness guys. Like that's what their job is. Anyway, and then you'll also get a sharp brief, and if it's still the same person, it'll be the talented sharp lady that comes in, the very talented sharp lady.
You had plenty money, 1922. You let other women make a fool of you.
As well as a religious brief conducted by the man, the myth, the legend, retired Army. I don't know if he was a major or a colonel, but Jeff Stricker. So famous Ranger from Black Hawk Down.
It's what you do right now that makes a difference.
I was reminded all over again yesterday, be careful who you look to and where you go for advice. Everyone's got an opinion. Some opinions are right, some opinions are wrong, and quite honestly, some opinions are just flat dangerous. So be careful who you look to for advice. And if you're looking for a suggestion on the kind of person to get advice from, well, talk to somebody who's already gone down the road that you're about to go down. Or talk to somebody who's already built the life that you would like to have one day. That's my advice to you. But then again, be careful with my advice.
After that, you'll do CIF. So you'll go to CIF and check out the things you need. And again, if you're in the Guard and you bring all your gear with you, you don't have to check out much of anything. You might grab an extra poncho, an extra liner.
And that IOTD that you'll need.
Yeah. But other than that, I checked out too much stuff when I went there. I was like, so I wish I had checked out less. So most stuff I got the assault pack, and I just put everything inside the assault pack and then never saw it again. So, and again, I'd say maybe if you go, bring your own ruck or an assault pack with you to pack the stuff inside of it. But you might actually get the spare assault pack and put all the stuff that you don't really need and just keep it all in one spot. Because my stuff stayed in the assault pack the entire time, then I took it all back and handed it inside the assault pack. Anyway, so CIF, and then after you go to CIF, you'll have to get all your name tapes sewed onto certain things. You'll have to get your name tapes and cat eyes sewn on stuff. So they'll have a list of what that stuff is. So it'll be like your assault pack, your PC, your helmet. You'll have to get the little helmet band with the cat eyes on it, your flick, all that stuff. It's going to have to take cat eyes and your name tape sewn on them. So do that. Then and you can get that done at either Troops, which is a military store, Gibson's, which is right off post, Ranger Joe's, or there's an Army surplus place like near Troops. So you could do it there as well. So those are the places you can go to get that done. Gibson's does something to people's rucks that he makes it more comfortable. I don't know what he does exactly, but it'll let people,
We'll swear by
it. I don't know what it was. But I let him do it to mine, but I don't feel like it was that much different, but I'm not really a big ruck guy. So anyway, so yeah, you take care of that, and then you'll do PT during this in-processing week around 3 or 4, and you'll probably be dismissed by about 3 typically. So you'll do your PT in the afternoon instead of in the mornings while you're doing in-processing, because the most important stuff you'll be doing that in-processing week is you'll be at the medical facility at like 6 a.m. doing your peeing in a cup, getting your shots and all that stuff, and then you go to the dental and all those other places as well. So that's your 6 a.m. report times are to the separate medical facilities, and then you'll go to the building 4 and do more briefing stuff. So that's what those first 2 weeks are going to look like.
You stick that in me, I'm gonna stab you in the heart with it.
Then you're going to get handed over to ACO, and that's when your 6 a.m. PT starts. So you'll want to get up by about 5 or 5:30, make sure you're dressed and ready to go. The first thing you're going to really do is you're going to do your height and weight.
Get on the scale, son. Get off the scale.
So that's something that's going to happen. And you're also going to do your AFT. So you'll do your AFT in that, as well as a 4-mile ruck in under an hour. So those are things that are going to happen. And again, all the rucks were eye-opening for me because, I had been rucking before I went to IBOLC, but Fort Benning, Georgia in the summer is a different monster when it comes to the heat. Like I was not prepared for the heat of Georgia. I'd been practicing rucking, but it's like when you're rucking in the springtime in Oklahoma, it's like 60, 70 degrees, maybe 80 if you're lucky for training for the heat. But like I said, when you get to Georgia and like I said, the temperature's like 80 in the morning and it's going to be 100 in the afternoon, you're just like, oh my gosh, there's no training for that unless you're there, so be prepared for that. It's like the better cardio you have, the better you're going to be for surviving that Georgia heat.
Yes! Oh my God! That's so hot! It was horrible! Oh, I'm going to die! I'm so tired! Everything hurts! Running is impossible!
But yeah, no, so you'll do that. So that 4-mile under an hour ruck. And then you'll also do a brief from the ACO company commander as well as a 1-star at some point. You'll get a brief from a 1-star. And again, they're going to be like, somebody's going to have to ask questions. Like, he's like, we're not leaving until somebody asks me like at least 3 questions. You're like,
They're all like that.
Yeah.
They're all like that. It was the same when we were in OCS and that colonel walked in. I'm not leaving until someone asks me a question.
Yep. So anyway, that's what that first week's going to look like. It's going to be your fitness stuff. It's going to be your AFT. It's going to be that. And then the second week, you're going to go out and you're going to do your land nav. So your land nav, you're going to get out there. You're going to ruck out to the land nav area. It's not going to be a super long ruck, but you are going to ruck out there for a little bit. And then when you get there, you're going to do it'll be a morning, so you'll do a terrain or a course familiarization walk. You'll walk about 7 miles around the course. You'll do a pace count. You'll get all that stuff going. And then you'll do a buddy land nav course walk through together. You'll navigate the points. You'll plot them, go and find them with a buddy. And then that night, I think you'll do your first solo land nav. And then the next morning, you'll do your daytime solo. And then you'll do your graded night that night, and then you'll do your graded day the next morning, and then the people who failed can go again. But just so you know, like according to them, the practice counts as your go as well. So if you do so whichever one you do better on. So if you pass both, so let's say you pass the day practice and you pass the night practice, but you fail the night graded, the night practice will actually count as your grade. So but let's say you pass them both. One you got 7 out of 7, and one you got 6 out of 7. They're going to take your best score. So that's what's cool about that.
Heck yeah.
Oh my God, look at that poor little guy. He's shivering. Do you think he's an orphan or something?
No, worse. That's a second lieutenant doing a land nav course.
Hey, little fella. You okay?
He looks hungry.
You want some food? You've got cigarettes. You've got Kill Cliff. Some dip. There you go. Come on. Come. You're okay. You're okay.
Again, land nav, it's a big course, but it's not a overly difficult course. Just, have good boots is all I can say, and be prepared to do lots of walking because it's a big, big course. Other than that, you'll finish that up and you'll ruck out. By the way, be prepared if OCS is out there. They'll keep you up singing the OCS alma mater all night, so that will not be fun.
Give them a moment, for pity's sake.
But and then the next thing you'll do for week 3, it's going to be BRM. So you're going to do gain garrison. You're going to do familiarization classes with the rifles. Then you'll do tie downs. And the next day you'll tie down all the PECs. You'll tie down the CCO, and then you'll go out. You'll ruck out to the range. They'll drive you out there, but you'll have to ruck a little ways to the range. And then you'll zero on the zero range. And then you have to do that one workout that I told you about in the ACO video. If you want a more comprehensive explanation about the workouts are, go to the ACO video, how to survive ACO. But you'll do a tough little workout doing equipment carrying while you're there just to kill time. And then the next morning, you'll put on your IOTV with the plates in, put your ruck on, then you'll ruck to the actual qualification site. You'll do that qualification, and then you'll do, after everybody quals, and be careful with those targets. They suck. I think the class behind us, they just gave everybody 23s because the targets were so bad out there. But aim for the dirt if they're working, because not all of them are working. I remember shooting the 150-yard dead center, and it just wouldn't go down. So aim low, let the dirt knock the target over for you. Other than that, you will do a night familiarization with your PECs. You'll have your nods on, and you'll shoot with your PEC at the target range. I think you'll only do 100 yards out's the farthest it'll be.
For the uninitiated, that's the laser light on your rifle.
Exactly. And that's it. And then you'll ruck out a little ways to a road, and then they'll pick you up the next day. And then that's ACO in a nutshell, man. Except for the fact that before you go, there's one more final smoke session that they give you. It's the Spartan workout. And it's a really tough little workout that you'll do. And again, it's a squad competition. So you're just getting a random squad. And so if it's, let's say, first squad versus second squad within first platoon, it's and whoever loses this relay, because there's a bunch of stations. One's a pull-up station, one's a sprint drag carry station, one's just a bunch of stations. Whoever loses has to do burpees as their punishment. So it pays to be a winner. And that's ACO.
Tomorrow, lady, we gonna start the hard stuff.
The hard stuff?
So now you'll push on to BCO. And BCO is a wake-up call. It is where they turn it on. They turn on the gas. They make it clear that this is not a gentleman's course. But for the most part, I enjoyed BCO. But one thing I forgot to mention in actually all the previous videos that we did was I forgot to mention you have to do the RPA. And the RPA is the Ranger Physical Assessment Test. So what you'll do is it's the BCO cadre actually set up the thing wrong for us. So only 2 guys passed because we had to run farther than we were supposed to. So I think we're supposed to run a quarter mile. So if you're on a track, it's 2 laps around the track. But we did it at the actual facility that the Rangers do it on, but I'm guessing whoever set it up didn't know the distances, because we definitely ran farther than we were supposed to. Because the difference between when we took it in BCO and DCO, 2 people passed in BCO, everybody passed in DCO. So that goes to show we didn't get better. They just set it up properly the next time we did it in DCO.
Makes you wonder if they set it up improperly on purpose. To
Maybe, but
to make sure you guys would pass it in DCO.
Maybe, I don't know. But either way, that's points you leave on the table, though. If you pass it, you get points for passing it. So I mean that you would kind of get hosed by not passing. So anyway, what the RPA consists of, it's a quarter-mile run, so 2 laps around a track, and then you go to a wall jump. You jump over a wall, and then you go into gas can carries, and then after you do gas can carries, you do IOTVs. I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, and then you go to stack sandbags onto a platform. One time we did it on the bed of a truck, another time it's like a drill sergeant stand, and then you go to the sled drag. So you drag the sled 100 yards, and you drag it back 100 yards. And there's weight on it. It's like there's a dead person on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So after that, you go back out to you run another quarter mile, and then you're done. You're supposed to do that in under 12 minutes, I believe. So that sounds about right. Under 12 minutes. So you do that in BCO. That's one of the first things you do in BCO, as well as you'll do a bunch of kit and plate workouts in BCO. So you'll be wearing your helmet, your gloves, your uniform with the plate carriers on. You'll do a bunch of workouts like that in BCO as well.
Mm-hmm.
As well as a 8 mile. And again, that 4 mile you do in ACO is not graded. Like, it's just kind of like assessing where you're at. And then you'll do an 8-mile ruck in BCO in under 2. So again, 4 mile in under an hour, 8 mile in under 2 hours. So I was cutting it close on both. Like that 4 mile, I was like, I had like 2 minutes to spare on that 4 mile because it was so hot. And then the 8 mile, I only had 1 minute to spare. I was like, dang, I suck at this, you know? But anyway, that's what you have to do in BCO. And so the first week in BCO is that garrison week. The reason you're able to do all those ranger tests and all that jazz is because it's a garrison week. So you're going to learn battle drill familiarizations. That's all you're doing. You're in garrison. You're doing you're doing all of the battle drills in garrison. So the first couple of days you'll do 1 through 6, and then you do 7 through 12. You know, and like I said, only the ones you can do. Like you'll do no mounted ones. You won't do the react to nuclear, react to gas.
All infantry stuff, not mounted infantry
exactly.
stuff.
So you will do all those and get familiar with them, and somebody will be platoon leader and squad. So it's all squad level tactics at that point. Then the next week 2, you're going to go out to the field, and that's squad ops. And this is all, they're grading you, but they're not really grading you. So it's ungraded squad lanes, and it's just more familiarization, so everybody gets used to the basics, so you can apply it at the platoon level once you get to SECO. So, again, you'll go out in the field, you'll do a 6-mile infill ruck. And I'm going to tell you right now, that 6-mile infill ruck was the hardest ruck I've ever done. And it was because we did it closer to the mid-afternoon, so it was like 10 to like noonish or so. It was hot that day. Like the heat index got up to like 117. That was the most miserable ruck I've done in my life. I've never seen so many people fall down. Like we walked up, go watch the BCO video if you want to be more specific, but there's a giant hill over there, and it is rough walking up that hill. I'll tell you that. Stronger people than me went down on that ruck. That was not fun, but yeah, so that 6-mile info ruck is going to be tough depending on what time of year you go. And then you'll get out there, and then you'll do squad lanes together, and you'll watch the cadre put on demonstrations of each of them.
Bangalores! Clear the shingle! Burn the hole! Burn
to show you what to do, and then they'll set the expectation, and then you'll go through and run it. And it's that simple. It's just squad lanes for the next 2 to 3 days out there. And depending on what time you go, it'll be really hot and miserable, or it could be chilly or nice and cool. So, and then week 3 is DOPS. So again, each of these weeks, like the first couple days of squad ops, you'll learn some stuff in garrison. Same goes for deco. Like you'll do a couple of garrison days, and then you go right out to the field with the rest of your squad in in BCO, but you'll go out and do DOPS. So again, there's another infill ruck to the DOPS area, and then you'll get into a tactical formation to walk into your lane. Then they'll put you in a patrol base, but then you immediately get out of the patrol base and go into setting up your linear defensive line. And you're digging all night. So you will not sleep when you're in DOPS. They've shortened DOPS to where it's shorter time, but you will dig all day and you will not sleep that night. And then Cadre will come in and attack you at night, so make sure you attack them back, because we did not do that.
Move out the way! What the hell's going on? I don't know, Sarge! I don't know what happened!
So, because we were like, oh, we're going to get green carded for, shooting at our CP. Anyway, but yeah, so just do that. And that's basically DOPS in a nutshell. You'll finish DOPS, so when you get out there, you'll dig your holes all night.
Hey, white boy, what you waiting for? That hole ain't gonna dig itself. Come on, boy, get your dick skin on that thing. Dig. You can get all day. Dig.
Somebody once wrote, hell is the impossibility of reason. That's what this place feels like. Hell. I hate it already, and it's only been a week.
And then you'll keep fixing them up in the morning, setting the planks of wood on top of them, then putting sandbags all around them, and then covering them with, foliage.
Mm-hmm.
Then after you do the foliage stuff, then they'll send a platoon. So we were attacked first by second platoon, and then we went to go attack second platoon after they got back into their positions. And that was it. That's all we did. And then they were like, okay, refill in your holes, and then we're going to leave in the evening. And we rucked out in the evening back the way we came, waited for the buses the next morning, and then we were out of there. And that was BCO. Short, simple, quick, concise. And then after that day, they actually, so ACO, there was no real, like, how would I say this? There was no kind of like AAR done. Like, it was just like, hey, you did it, go away. BCO, they do kind of give you an assessment of where you're at and like where I think you are, So they will, I was talked to by one of the cadre members. Like, they came in and talked to me personally. Like, so I had to go and sit in their office, and they were like, you did really well. It looks like you passed all your events, and I saw you be a good leader when everyone else was tired and didn't want to volunteer. You were the last man to volunteer and take over being squad leader when everybody else was dog tired. So good job for you. So that's the kind of closing out of the company that you'll get in BCO. So you'll get talking to, and they'll kind of assess where you're at, and or they could tell you, I need to see more from you. You don't seem like a team player. They could give you. I didn't get that talk. They told me I was good. I seemed like a good soldier. So that was good on my end. So anyway, that was BCO. That's kind of how BCO wrapped up. And then they hand you over to TLP committees, which TLP committee is its own thing, but it is still technically a part of BCO.
Now where is it? Ah, yes, here it is. Huckleberry Finn. Oh my God, Mark Twain, so many N-words with hard R's.
Oh, hey, quit learning.
Again, BCO is where you get the vast majority of your points. So again, when you're handed over to TLP committee, it's the other time, because there was no real handoff ceremony to BCO, but there was a handoff ceremony to TLP company. And it was super chill. Like, it was very, like, the cadre come out and go, hey, this is the educational slot. Like, you guys probably, we're going to teach you a lot. You're going to be in the classroom a whole lot this time, but you're probably not getting a lot of sleep because there's a lot of stuff that we have to put you through, and you'll be doing stuff late into the night. And that is true. Like, I would call TLPs late nights in classrooms is what you call this company. And that's exactly what you do. Like, you go to the class, they teach you how to do each individual line. They teach you how to do they teach you how to do an op board. You receive it, you copy down verbatim on what's on the op board onto your little binder or whatever they give you. And then after that, they'll teach you the things like here, you need to be able to make your maps look like this and have a, enemy weapons systems capabilities. And you need to have like what your route of travel is going to be, or set up your defensive line. And you need to do a SOSRA sketch. So they're going to teach you how to do all of that. And they'll have examples and whatnot on the board for you to look at as well. And their cadres super chill in TLP companies. Like, they're there to help you get it. Don't be afraid to ask questions. They'll probably be like new incoming cadre, like sergeants and stuff, who have to do it with you. So like, there'll be sergeants in the class, like next to you in class, learning the same way you're learning, and they have to brief at the same time so they can be a part of the cadre in the next cycle. So be aware of that. The only other thing that happens in TLP committees is your 12-mile ruck, which, again, I did really well on the 12-mile ruck. I think I had like 12 minutes to spare, so I did better on this ruck than I did on any of the other rucks. But there was a couple of caveats to that, because we only had to wear shirts. We didn't have to wear the full thing, so that was a big deal. Yeah. Like, not wearing the OCP top and just wearing the shirt, and that heat makes a huge difference in the way you're able to, again, vent heat. So I did so much better on that 12-mile ruck in the TLP company, which is, again, that's the 12 miles is the only ruck that actually matters. It's the one that actually you're graded on. If you don't pass it, that's a kick out of course issue. Now, they will let you retest. Though we were afraid that they wouldn't let anybody retest. There were people that, better ruckers than me, that collapsed out there during this ruck. And I was like, there's no way that, like, I remember some of the people that went down. I was like, what? They smoked me on the last two rucks. Like, how did they go down? So again, just take care of yourselves while you're out there. Drink, hydrate before you do these rucks, and make sure you're eating properly, because great soldiers went down out there on top. Again, the BCO 6-mile info ruck. People were just dropping like flies on that. It was crazy. So anyway, and then you have you're in TLP company for 3 weeks. You have to do 3 separate op board briefs. The first one will be the easiest and the most simple one. It'll be like a plan of attack. The second one is like a defensive op board brief. And then the third one is another attack, but they throw a couple of like kinks in there. Like, they have to make it slightly more complicated. So, and the third one is the one that matters, though. The third one is the one you have to pass. The first 2 you don't technically have to pass. I passed the first 2 and then somehow failed the third one because I got graded by a triple C captain. And then I went to go rebrief the next day, And the captain was like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "I don't know, sir." Like, he was like, I was like, "Read the notes." And he was like, "I don't understand these notes." And I was like, "I don't understand them either." So anyway, he was like, "Brief your scheme maneuver." And again, I was in and out of there in 5 minutes. Which again, the briefs you'll do will be an hour. Like, I think they have to be like 50 minutes. They can't be more than 50 minutes or something like that. It's somewhere in there.
45 to 50 minutes is usually what I've been told.
Yes. So again, and that's TLP companies. There's nothing to it.
We're foot, slog, 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 slogging over Africa. Foot, 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 slogging over Africa. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. 7, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 miles today. 4, 11, 17, 32 the day before. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war.
Once you get to Seco, the first thing you're going to do that first day you show up is they're going to send you back to basic training.
What the fuck are you even doing here? Sir, I got lost on the way to college, sir!
So again, the first thing you'll do is you'll show up for PT that morning. You're going to put on, they're going to give you a penny, one of those jerseys from basic training. You're going to put it on so they can't identify you as an officer. And they're going to ship you off to Sand Hill, and you're going to do the first 1,000 yards, or I don't know. I mean, I hear they're going back to the way they used to do basic training, so I wonder if it'll just be like some pseudo shark attack or something. But the first 1,000 yards is what we did. And again, I'd just gone to basic training and done that before, so to me it was just like, been there, done that. It's really more for ROTC guys and West Pointers, I would suppose. Anyway, that's the first day of Seco, and then you basically go right into your platoon lanes. So the first week of Seco, after you do the basic training stuff, is you go to Alabama and you do your ungraded patrols, which is just if this is the time to volunteer, jump into a leadership role, whether it be the PL or the platoon sergeant, get some reps in, and get the people who aren't comfortable with being in these positions to volunteer to do these things, because this is the time to fail, because this whole first week is just practice. They're not actually grading you. They'll tell you whether or not they would give you a go or a no-go for that particular lane. But again, this whole first week is your practice. Get those mental reps in, and don't be afraid to jump into leadership roles. That's all that is the first week. And then week 2, you're going in, and that's when you go to the Georgia side, and you're going to actually run the lanes where you are graded on. And the first thing you're going to do is, like, that first week is you're going to do a 10-mile infill ruck. You're going to start at the CIF, and you're just going to walk all the way out to where the locations are, where the lanes are. And then you'll just get out there, and the first thing you do when you'll get out there, it's dark, you'll go into your patrol base, you'll wake up, they'll probably attack you the next morning, which is what they did to us. And you'll begin your lanes, and you'll just literally, Seco is a blur. Every day is exactly the same. The only thing that changes is the location. Either you're walking through a swamp, you're walking up a hill, you're walking on a road. That's all Seco is. Seco is, like we said in the previous Seco video, it's Ranger School Light. It's just patrol base operations and lanes. And that's all you're doing.
Ranger School Light or Diet Ranger.
Diet Ranger. That's right. So, and that's all you do. Like, again, every day feels the same. Every day was a blur to me out there. I think I probably pull up that picture of the average night's sleep we got while we were out there with the watch. But yeah, I remember we were out there one night, and again, the company commander for Seco came out and was like going, "How are they doing?" And then, the cadre who was with us going, "They're well rested, sir." And then that's when that guy pulled up his watch and goes, "Yeah, we're well rested." 1.5 hours of sleep last night. But yeah, I mean, that's what you're going to do. That is Seco. It's just, again, Diet Ranger, Ranger School Light. The only upside to week 3 is there's no 10-mile infill ruck. They're just going to bust you straight back out there, and then you'll get off and start your lanes in week 3, going right into it. And again, just don't be a Blue Falcon while you're out there. Stay awake. After you get your go, don't turn into a dirtbag. Don't be a Blue Falcon. Stay awake. Do your job, whatever your position is, no matter how big or how small, even if you're Joe holding the line or if you're the medic, the RTO, whatever you are, do your best to get your buddy. Again, nobody's going to pass this course by themselves, and this is this is one thing I didn't mention either in the Seco video. After you get out of Seco, this is where peers begin. Like, at no point in my Army career has peers ever worked before. So in IBOLC, peers work. Like, you can peer people out in IBOLC. I remember in basic training, the drill sergeants came out and said, you're going to prep your top 3 people and you're going to prep your worst 3 people. We're going to peer some people. And again, nothing ever happened. We just peered people, and I think it was just a way for the drill sergeants to figure out who people liked and who people didn't like, or who the dirtbags were and who the people that they could count on were.
Mainly just a consensus to see if they thought the dirtbags were the same people we thought the dirtbags were, or same as who the good people were.
Yeah. And then in OCS, I mean, we definitely prepped people at the bottom and said would not serve under combat with, wouldn't want them in charge of the family member. And that never worked either. We never got anybody peered out of our OCS class. So then I get here and I'm like, wow, this works. I mean, again, I knew a guy in our class who made it all the way through DECO, passed everything, met every single standard, and he got peered out in DECO by his classmates.
For a bad attitude or
I
something,
get it.
right?
Could have been a bad attitude. They just didn't think he was going to make a good officer. And, they made him restart the program from day one. Talk about a humbling experience for that guy. I mean, he was very helpful when he had a chance. He'd go out there and he would, if I had a question, he'd be like, yeah, I have the answer to that. I'm like, cool, thank you. So humbling for him. But yeah, that's Seco. Seco, you're just walking in the woods. That's all it is. And then once you're done with week 3, you're done. You do your peers. And again, people can get peered out. I remember I was ranked overall 3rd in my squad. I can't remember who was above me, but I remember being overall 3, which is good.
Oh, yeah. You want to be near the top. You always want to be near the top. I remember in OCS, I was always ranked 2. I was always ranked 1 or 2 when I was in most of my OCS stuff.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's Seco, man. It's just the slog, getting through it. As long as you can endure, if you can endure, you will make it through Seco.
Hey, look at this place. Silver Acres Rest Home. Hell, it looks more like a country club than a nursing home. Nice grass, nice people. I hope you brought your bathing suit. I'm telling you, this place is perfect. You're gonna make friends in no time.
Get me out of here!
Here, just eat that! Leave us alone!
And finally, you get to DECO. And DECO is... there is a handoff ceremony to DECO once you get there. So again, kind of like TLPs, the cadre come out, except, they're real serious this time. They're like, they're letting you know, it's like, just because you guys are in the final company, you're not done yet, and we can still have you peered out, or we can kick you out of here, which, I mean, again, it's totally true. One thing I didn't like is they really encourage peering in the end of DECO. It's like, whatever guys were ranked really low before, those are the guys we want gone. So it's like, and then they'll be like, then they're like, they start the gameisms. They're like, hey, if you peered these people low and somehow they wind up at the top of the list again, you pref them as like higher, we're going to have an issue with that, and you're just like, again, it's just, they're just trying to yank those people out. You know what I'm saying? That's the issue that we had. It's like, they might not be the best, and they might not be the best in the squad, but it doesn't mean that they're terrible soldiers. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the way I look at it. It's like, they're not the best. Like, they're not the most, they're my sleepy ranger. You know what I mean? Like, they're the ones that have the struggle staying awake, but it doesn't mean that he's a bad soldier. That's where I was at with that. But so that's kind of one of those things. Again, you're in DECO. That's one of the things that they do. It could just be psyop. They could just be psychologically warfaring you. I don't know. But that was just kind of one of those things that they kept saying. I was like going. So the guys who were ranked low in our squad, were just absolutely just terrified. And we're just sitting there. It's like, guys, calm down. We were like, you're not bad soldiers. I would never walk up to the cadre and be like, not him. Please, mommy, not him.
Come on, Alan, that's bullshit!
Let's don't get emotional about it. Just
No!
No! Okay. All right, you're being Jackie, don't bite yourself. Come on.
But yeah. But no. that was one thing that was just like, again, just a clash of conflict of interest that I had there. But, that's just how it was in DCO. Like, it's just kind of one of those things where it's just a personality clash or just a culture clash within DCO. And again, I understand what they're doing. They're trying to keep the ranks clear. They want to make sure that people who are going to be leading soldiers are good enough to lead soldiers. So, but it's a no mercy environment there.
Mm-hmm.
So, week 1 is the team live fire, the buddy team live fire. So again, I got that wrong in the previous video. So again, I thank that captain who sent us out and corrected that. You can probably put the comment right here. Again, he helped me fix the timeline. So it goes, it's not a squad, it's a team. So you go, it's a team buddy live fire. And again, when you go out there, you zero your rifle, and then you do some really fun shooting drills. Those are the best shooting drills I've done since I've been in the military, was in DCO. Like, I was like, wow, this is a real, they'd sit there, all right, space left, turn right, shoot. I was like, this is good. Like, okay, run up and take it, run 5 meters, take a knee, shoot. It's like, that was a lot of fun. Most fun shooting drills I've done since I've been in the military. So that's a plus for DCO. Like, they did that. But again, then you come into the whole, when you got into the squad or the team live fire, it's like some of those guys would trip and fall and go for holes and whatnot, and they would fall, hit their head on the ground, lose control of their rifle, and that's when the green cards would come in, and you'd be like, I feel like, yes, they lost control of their rifle. Did they do it intentionally? No. Do I think they deserve to get knocked points off of their overall score for that? No. But again, the standard's the standard. So that's just what they did. Right? You can disagree with it or whatever. It's just how it is. It's like, so when you're out there, just be very aware of, your workspace, when you're reloading stuff, because they'll be watching you very harshly on that as well. So you're using live weapons and live rounds, be safe. We're all soldiers. We should have all been, we're all pretty experienced shooters by now, I would hope. Maybe not the West Point and the ROTC guys, but most of the, former NCOs and guys like us who've been shooting for years will be pretty good about that. But again, and then week 2, so you do the live fire, and then they'll also teach you how to run a range week 1 as well. So they're going to be like, this is how you run a live fire range. For us guard guys, again, DCO is a very redundant course for a lot of guard guys because we've already run ranges. You and I have both you've run multiple ranges since you've been in the guard. I ran at least 2 ranges since before I went.
Yeah, running ranges is second lieutenant's, like,
bread and
butter. That's all you will do as a second lieutenant, especially before you've gone to IBOLC. That's literally all you're qualified to do.
Yeah, basically. So anyway, so like a lot of this stuff is just, it's just boring stuff for us. Maybe all that the West Pointers and the ROTC guys like, oh wow, but even the ROTC guys typically they'll go and drill with guard units, so they should have a pretty good fundamental working idea of how a range works. But I understand why it's in the course, because this course was built for active duty members, not guard members. So again, we're just there kind of nodding like, yep. This is, yeah. So anyway, that's the week 1. Then week 2 is the, again, I thank again that cadre member who corrected my mistake. Again, this is the final comp exam. So when you're out there in the week 1, study in the evenings, for this test. And then all week 2, study all week for this test. You'll have study groups, study sessions for this test. And I did pretty well on it. I got in the 80s, so that's cool. But it's a long test, and it's a time test. There's like, there are almost like 200 questions on this test, I think, something like that. It's a lot. And on top of that, some of them are plotting points, some of them are identifying symbols, and it's a lot of information. It's dense, it's thick.
Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy.
So, and again, it is a time test too. I ran out of time before I finished, but I finished enough of the test to get an 80, over an 80% on it, almost a 90. So, again, it's good stuff, but be prepared. Don't sleep on it. And then week 3 is the call for fires or support by fire day, as well as the honor hill ruck. So you'll go out there, you'll watch the mortar team do their thing. You'll actually move in a platoon wedge while they're firing mortars to go up to the assaulting position, but you'll never go past there's a protection point that you're never allowed to go past. They'll start off with the 81s and they'll say, okay, begin movement. You'll get past a certain point and they'll say 81 cease, 60 millimeter mortars start shooting, and then you stop at like the the red zone for the 60 millimeter mortars, and then into index. But yeah, it's very cool being a part of that, watching and maneuvering while the mortars are flying near you, and you're just like, oh, trees falling down over there, like pretty cool. And go over there and get up close. You can watch the mortar guys do their thing. It's pretty neat. So, and then again after that, you'll ruck up. You'll have your Honor Hill ruck, and then that you'll start that evening, and you'll pack your. So and again, we did do layouts. I think we only actually didn't do layouts ever until Deco, and this right here before we did the art was the only time we ever did a real official layout in all of IBOLC. So beware, you will have a thing now. In Beco, they did weigh our rucks multiple times. They were like, "Hey, we're gonna weigh these things before we do this." So they came out with the scale, and they're like, "Yep, you're good, you're good." But Deco was the only time that the rucks were we actually did a full layout of all the items. So if they tell you to bring something in Deco, bring it. It's the only time that they ever cared. Like Seco, they didn't care what you brought. You just packed your ruck and brought what you thought you need. Again, spare boots, spare uniform is definitely what you're going to need there in Deco, as well as heavy-duty tarps. So anyway, but yeah, Deco, we do that layout, and then after that, we do that layout. That's basically when the Honor Hill ruck begins. And again, ruck to Honor Hill, don't fall out, don't heat cat. And if you heat cat, make sure you go to the hospital, because if you don't, you're going to burn your blue cord. And that is the extent of what Deco is. You do that whole ceremony, and then once you get back, I don't remember doing any real peer things in Deco. I don't remember anybody doing a peer eval in Deco. I mean, we did some type of paper peeler evaluation, but there was never like we walked up and had like a meeting with Cadra. So, again, I was never worried about getting peered out. I always did my job, tried to have a positive attitude.
And remember, Captain, be positive.
And all that. So, and nobody in our squad got peered out, thank God. So everybody made it through. Got through, and then we got handed back off to out processing company. That's a good feeling whenever you see that sergeant who's in charge of the processing. You're like, hey, welcome back, guys. And you're just like, yeah, we made it,
D+. Oh my God. I passed.
I passed! Oh man! I got a D+! I'm gonna graduate!
I wish we'd known each other. This is a little awkward.
I'm gonna graduate! D+! I'm gonna graduate!
And then you do the out processing stuff, which again, that's when you get the scavenger hunt. You go back to CIF and get cleared out of CIF.
Absolutely.
Great.
But we'll have to do that tomorrow because we close in 5 minutes.
It's 6:35, sir.
What are you, my fucking boss? You make the hours here? I say when we close. We close in 5 minutes. I got reservations at Chili's. I'm meeting my boys.
And then you do some rehearsals for graduation. You'll have a couple of different graduations. You'll have one blue cord graduation ceremony, and then you'll have the actual graduation ceremony inside the big infantry building for infantry building, where in the what would you call it? The Performing Arts Center, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that, where the stage is.
Yeah.
But yeah, the blue court ceremony is done at like a building that has like a swimming pool by it, and then the actual ceremony is done. The final ceremony is done in the big infantry hall. So, and that's it. That's IBOLC in a nutshell. Just survive it, endure it. You can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'm not the best athlete nor the strongest person, so. But yeah, it's a good time though. IBOLC. I enjoyed my time at IBOLC for the most part. Like I said, it made me a stronger, better, and more resilient officer. It made me a better athlete. I'm in much better shape now than I was before I went, maintaining a better discipline. I'm training you to get you ready for IBOLC. So, Again, it's a good time. It's a good course. Again, that's the whole point that I do this video. I want you to. The reason I did this video series is to show you guys, like, you're gonna come in. It's not gonna be what you expect it to be, and you're gonna clash with certain people and certain ideologies within the course. It's gonna be like that everywhere you go in the military. You'll meet good leaders. You'll meet bad leaders. You'll have good NCOs. You'll have bad NCOs. You'll like some of your people in your chain of command. You'll despise some people in your chain of command. That's life. And how you bounce back from it or how you deal with it reflects on you. And that's up to you on how you do it. This is the Twins with the Grand Old Time Cast. We are signing off. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
All right.